So somewhere along the line, I managed to delete the video. I was talking about this motor bracket here. But what I want to indicate with this still picture is I'm going to drill two new holes in the bottom of the bracket there where it mounts up to the chassis. And that will move the motor bracket backwards and in turn moving the motor backwards towards the rear of the locomotive. And that'll give me more room for the drive shaft to be mounted and to make adjustments. So that's what this is about. And when the video continues here, we'll be in the basement drilling those holes. Okay? All right, back in the basement with you. I put a couple punch marks on our lines here. And I already got a 7/64 drill bit chucked up in the chuck. And we're going to drill her out. This is brass. We don't really need any oil or anything. It should go through quite nicely. Let's see how we do. All right, there's hole number one. Let's swing our table around a little bit. Get her in position. I just leave the vise a little loose to let it float. That should have done it. There we go. Our cutter bit back in. Drill press. Safety first. This is a punch I use all the time. It's a spring-loaded center punch, and then I turned this little fitting here and brazed it to the center punch, and then I can chuck that up in the drill and then just use the drill to push down, and the spring in there will let the punch put a mark right where you want it. So that works out quite nicely. All right, let's unwind this vise. There's our two new holes. Somewhere there they are, right on our line. Okay, good. Back upstairs. Okay, so now here's our drive shaft, and what I want to do with this, what I've noticed is when the locomotive's going in forward, seems to be fine. The spring actually tightens up on itself, but when we go in reverse, it starts to separate a little bit. It's hard to see, but the coils start to separate, and I notice a little almost like a rubber band action on the locomotive before it gets to the point where it's tight enough that it can continuously feed the gearbox. So what I'm going to try and do to alleviate some of that, I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to try a piece of this heat shrink tubing, and we'll cut a piece just to cover the spring section. All right, then we'll slide that in there and heat it up, see if we can get it to shrink This might be a little too big, I'm not sure. So the first thing we got to do is figure out how much we need. Even if it's not complete coverage, at least we can try this. Okay, I swung it around this side, just try to keep my hands out of the camera lens. Alright, let's mark that. I'm just using a scalpel to mark it, and then I'll cut it with a pair of scissors here. Try to get this as square as possible. Alright. Almost got away from me there. Alright, so there's that. See if we can put this on there. A little too long. I want it to rest just on the springs, not up against the couplers there. So we'll try to take another snip off of this. Just a tiny bit. Try to square that up a bit. Get a better grip on it here. There we go. All right, let's check that. Okay, that covers just the springs there. So let me plug in the heat gun and we'll see what happens. Okay, I've got it in the vice grips here and a little block of wood on underneath just to keep it off this board here. And let's fire up the heat gun, see what happens. Let's go to our low setting here. That feels hot. All right, let's see if we, not quite. Gotta get it a little tighter than that around there. All right, let's see if we got any movement here. That might just be enough. Let that cool down and we'll see how it gripped that spring. Okay, I think she's cooled down. Feels nice. All right. Yeah, it's still warm, but touchable. Okay, so that looks like we've got a good grip on that. It's not spinning. We still have flexibility, so that part's good. All right, we'll see if that calms down that little rubber band motion, you know. But now I'm trying to unwind it, and I can't do it as much as I could when this ring of heat shrink was off of there. So I think we got it. We'll see if it helps. It's an experiment. Minor improvement. It's not moving, so I think we got it. Luckily that tubing shrunk down enough. And then if it doesn't work, we can just slice this and put a slice in there and peel it off and try something else. But I think we got a good fix here. I can feel it. Yeah. Those springs aren't unwinding like they were. The tubing's holding them in place. So hopefully this is a little more rigid. We'll give it a shot.